Hey, it's Heidi, and I'm here with a video giving you all a bit of a life update. So first off, my last video was filmed a month ago. I believe it might even be a bit over a month ago, and it was talking about my feelings about and why I was going to visit Guatemala for the first time. And I've been meaning to make a video about my experience, but just life kind of got in the way. So a very brief background: when I first started this channel, I had been furloughed from my last job at Macy's for about a month or two, and I decided it's gonna be a while until I find a new job. And I was receiving unemployment money that definitely paid a lot more than another retail or food job. So instead I just decided to stay at home, watch a lot of Netflix, and tried applying to jobs that I actually wanted to pursue, which is, if you don't know me by now, is in real estate. So I really don't want to get into details about why I want to do real estate or my thought process during the job hunt, because those definitely are going to be videos that I'll be making someday. But long story short, basically in the summer of 2017, I had an internship for a large commercial real estate company, and I loved it. It was only 8 weeks, but I enjoyed every single moment of it, and I realized that this is what I wanted to do. But for those who don't know, it is much tougher to get into commercial real estate compared to residential real estate. And it definitely pays more to be in commercial than in residential. So it was going to be hard for me to get a job in commercial, but I thought, let me expand my horizons a little bit and try residential. Also, for anyone who has noticed or not noticed, doesn't matter, this is very much a on the fly type of video. I don't have a script that I'm basing this off of. It's just mostly ideas that are coming up in my head, and I'm not even looking straight at the camera a lot right now because I'm just trying to get all of this information out, and this is not informative in any shape or form. This is just me talking to a camera, which I'm finally getting a bit more comfortable with doing. So hopefully this doesn't bore you too much, or this isn't too long of a video, but nonetheless, let's keep going. So at the end of that internship, I realized that I wanted to do property management. And my mentor, who I've had since I was about 14 years old, was a property manager. And I didn't think that I would want to follow her steps, but now I do. She did play a role in it, but she isn't the only reason I'm following this career path. I really, just after working in real estate and understanding more about what property managers do, I would one day want to be in commercial property management. But again, it's really tough to be in commercial, so even if I get to just a residential property manager, I would be content. So with that, I started networking and talking to a few people here and there just about what I wanted to do in real estate specifically, because a lot of people assume that if I wanted to be in real estate, I wanted to be an agent, but I'm not the best salesperson, which is what I learned when I was at State Farm. But nonetheless, I definitely was just trying to get as much information possible to be able to understand the world of property management and to get a job, at least an entry-level job in that industry. So for the entire year, what felt like the whole year that I basically haven't been working, I was applying to property management positions like crazy. Even if it was just a real estate administrative assistant or a real estate personal assistant, like I just wanted some sort of experience in real estate, because all I had were those 2 months of summer internship that I had in that commercial real estate company, and it just wasn't enough for people to take me seriously. And so I was applying and applying and applying, and just countless rejections, bunch of interviews, Zoom interviews, in-person interviews with the mask on, phone interviews. It was just a lot of interviews, and just no one was hiring me. And in the end, I kind of gave up, but because I knew that the Guatemala trip was coming, I thought if I have a job before I have to go to Guatemala, then I won't go. And it was nearing there. It was about a beginning of October, I believe. And I realized, let me just buy the ticket, because by November I am not going to have a job. And so I went ahead and bought the ticket. But by mid-October, I got a couple calls for some interviews, and I thought, with my track record, I'm not going to get hired. I'm a very realistic person, and with the odds that I had, I just knew that I wasn't going to get hired. But I thought, let me just go to these interviews and see what happens. So one of the companies that I interviewed for, and I'm not even going to try to hide it, it's the company that ended up hiring me. But to preface everything, this company is a property management company for an apartment complex. So they basically lease apartments. They have bookkeepers to deal with the accounting for the rents that come in. They have the maintenance workers, everything that comes with the property management or leasing office is the company that I was interviewing for. And so I interviewed for an apartment complex and to be an administrative assistant. And like I said, they ended up liking me and hired me the next week, a week before I was supposed to leave for Guatemala. But they ended up having to do a background check, which would have lasted for about 2 weeks. And so I thought, great, let me do the background check real quick right before I leave, get my COVID test, because Guatemala requires you to get your COVID test done 72 hours prior to you landing in Guatemala. And so I did everything right before, and I submitted it, and I just went to Guatemala, came back, did quarantine for about 2 weeks before starting my job. And so something that a lot of property managers tend to do and have is get their real estate license, not necessarily because their job is to sell real estate, but it's just so that they have the authority to authorize leases, or I don't know much about the vocabulary just yet, but basically in layman's terms, having a real estate license as a property manager is very beneficial, especially when it comes to reaching your quotas for your team, so that you can reach the maximum occupancy levels. And there's just a lot that you learn when you take your real estate license classes, which I would know now because I'm finally taking online classes to get my real estate license. And I never thought that I'd get it, just because I knew that I never wanted to sell. But when I realized that property managers do have some say in the leasing process or in the sales process of apartments or condos, whatever you can think of when it comes to property management, I realized that eventually I will need to get this. And so why not, right now that I'm young, don't have a family yet, can put the extra time after work toward doing this. And so during the 2 weeks that I was in quarantine, when I came back from Guatemala, I immediately signed up to do the classes. So I've been doing those. And then once I started working, I would work and come back home, do a class, and do the same thing. On weekends, I would try to put in another 2 classes of a lesson per day, per Saturday and Sunday. But also my church started opening up for physical services, and I sing in the choir, so I need to be there, and my life is starting to just get more busy now. Even though the stay-at-home order seems like it's going to come into effect pretty soon, so I'm not sure about the church schedule anymore, but in general, working a full-time job and trying to fit in about an hour or two each night to study for the real estate license exam takes a toll, and that's why I have not been making videos lately. I feel like I just made this whole video as a way to make myself feel better about what I'm doing, but also just I feel like I'm making a lot of excuses, because if I really wanted to, I could have made a quick video just like this one and uploaded it 2 weeks ago instead of waiting for an entire month. But again, like I said, it's been really tough. I again have not been working for a long time, for many months, and so my body is still getting accustomed to waking up really early at 6:30 in the morning to be exact, and I have not woken up that early since about 2 years ago, because when I was at Macy's, I never woke up earlier than 8, sometimes even 9, depending on the time I had to go clock in. So it's definitely been a change. I'm not a morning person, so I'm getting used to that grind again. And you know, after doing an entire 8 hours of work and the commute, and still getting back home to just eat and try to fit in a class or two of real estate, I'm not complaining. And again, I'm not trying to make any excuses for myself to make it seem like it's okay that I haven't made any videos. In a way, it's like no one is expecting me to make videos, but I expect it from myself. So I don't know, it's a process. I'm definitely just trying to balance everything. I have no one to explain anything to, you know. I do whatever I want with my life. Thank God, I really like having that freedom of doing whatever I want, and I'm really happy. I'm not much of a person who tends to show a lot of excitement or passion towards something, so this is all that you're getting. When I'm really excited or really passionate about something, this is as much excitement as you're gonna see from me. So just know that this is kind of like the criteria. This is me at my happiest. I haven't felt this happy and fulfilled in a really long time, and I don't want to associate my happiness with my job or my career, but you know, I want to associate my happiness with my faith in the Lord. But I don't know, having a career in general is just something that I really want for myself and for my future children, and I want to set a really good example for the generations to come, like my niece and my nephew and my other niece. And really just anyone who, like I said, this channel is starting to be more about me and how a young Latina woman from South Central LA is going to make it, is going to fulfill that American dream, which my version of the American dream is different from my mom's, different from my dad's, different from my sister's, but I am definitely achieving my sense of the American dream, and I'm getting there one step at a time, and I really am just very thankful for everything. I mean, Thanksgiving was yesterday, and maybe I'm in a very thankful mood, even though we try not to celebrate the holiday itself for what it's supposed to be for, but in general, being thankful is always a good thing to do every day or as often as you can. And so without me rambling and making this video any longer than it needs to be, thank you for watching. Hope you like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.